So Alex, how much do you know about Genshin Impact?
Basically nothing.
I'm going to go through some characters for you, and I just want you to try and guess what kind of element of magic they use, what weapon you think they might use, and just sort of what they make you think about. Do you think what kind of person you think they are? That sort of thing.
Cool. I reckon spear.
Okay.
Electric spear. I'm gonna go with. Maybe a spear, because we haven't had a spear yet, and there's so little left. None of them have spears.
That's true. Maybe Liyue will make up for that.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay, so next we have Tartaglia, also known as Childe.
I'm gonna go fire. I'm gonna go spear.
Okay.
Either spear or sword, but I want the spear, and I want to get it right.
What kind
Very
of role?
friendly, like complete opposite of the other weird fire guy from the last place.
The Luke.
Yeah. He's a bow user.
What about element?
Still fire,
Okay.
despite what it looks like with water in the background. I want it to be fire.
Did you not see the other things he brought up with his bow?
No, he's probably water. But you know what? Actually, no. If he is bow and water, then he is the complete opposite of DeLuca. And that confirms my theory of his personality. So we're going to go with bow and water.
Okay, and you think he's quite happy-go-lucky?
Yeah, like
What
very
about-
friendly, has like loads of people around him.
Yeah. What about role in the team?
Damage dealer.
Okay, you're pretty right there. He's a Hydro, he is a bow user, and he is a damage dealer. He's sort of a weird situation where not only does he do a lot of damage himself, he makes everyone else do a lot of damage with him. Tartaglia, he's actually technically not from Liyue, he's from Snezhnaya, which is sort of supposed to be a bit based of Russia, Snezhnaya, but he came into the game through the Liyue story. And yeah, he's very like friendly, but sort of quite sinister as well.
Right.
He actually, in the storyline, for a period of time, was the bad guy. And like one of the boss fights in the game is against him. But
Really
yeah.
doesn't look it.
No, like, well, that's sort of the thing. He's supposed to have this disarming,
Yeah.
nice look about you. He's like a foreign agent.
Like the sparkly vampires.
A little bit, yeah, I can see that. So next we have Xiangling.
Again, I want to go animal type.
She does look a bit like a... It's the hair. It looks a bit like...
I'd say it's
ears.
like the skirt. It looks like a leopard print.
Yeah?
Or not leopard. Type.
Like tiger stripes?
Yeah.
I can see that.
But we're gonna go ground.
Okay.
Maybe fire, but we're gonna go ground.
Ooh.
See, it just confirms they should bring in animal types and they should bring in grass types.
Well, grass is coming, hopefully.
Well, they should also have animal.
That's not an element, though.
It doesn't need to be an element.
The
It's
element of
power.
animal.
Yeah, the element of people and like life and stuff.
Okay. What about what?
Magic.
Magic? Okay. Fire magic.
Did I say fire or ground? I don't even know.
Did you say ground?
I can't remember.
Ground magic. What about... You said fire or...
I said fire or ground, yeah.
What about the battle style, fighting style?
Support.
Yeah. Okay. What about her
Again,
personality?
like she's very like friendly.
Yeah.
Looks after everyone.
So Xiangling is a pyro, fire.
Okay.
I almost gave it away. She chucks out her little bear Gooba, who like breathes fire on enemies.
Right.
She uses a spear. She was actually the only spear user for a really long time in the game.
Why is there a spear when no one uses it?
I think it was probably the last thing they made in the development of the game, I think. But yeah, she's a sort of... She can either be a really high damage support or a damage dealer herself. But yeah, she does lots of fire skills. So this is Xiao.
Sword or claymore? I'm gonna go claymore. I can't tell if it's electric, air, or fire. I'm gonna go air. We haven't
Yeah.
had air in a while.
Animo. Yeah, there's not many animo characters. I think it's 5.
Yeah, I don't think many people kind of know him that much. He just kind of like sits in the background, does what he does, and kind of gets out.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't stick around to talk very much. Again, with the animals, adding an animal power.
That's a demon mask.
Well, still. Yeah, that's about it. I'd say
Okay.
probably damage dealer.
Yeah, so he is Animo. He's a spear user again. Yeah, Liyue has a lot of spear users. It's funny.
Well, good, because the other place didn't have any.
At first, people were complaining there weren't enough spear users, and now people are complaining there's too many because there was like 2 or 3 characters that were all spear users coming out in quick succession. He's similar to Ganyu. He's one of the people who looks after Liyue. He's the Animo one. He's a Yaksha, I think that's the name. And it was either him or one of the other Yaksha who killed Chi-Chi
Right.
and brought her back as a zombie. But yeah, he's a very much a loner type. Not many people know he's a Yaksha, or even some people can't even see him if he doesn't want them to, sort of thing. He's very mysterious. And next we have, I think it's pronounced Xingqiu. Xingqiu or Xingqiu? Or Xingqiu? Xingqiu? I don't know.
Right. Water.
He looks very blue.
Yeah. Right. He's gonna be a water magic type. Who, like the other, like, not maid person. He's gonna be the librarian of the place. He looks after all the records. He's like a historian. And just kind of dabbles in a bit of water as well, because he helps extract the water from the books to keep them safe. Okay. He's a sword user, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he uses the sword to trim up the books in the library.
They need their trimmings.
They need their trimmings.
What about a roll?
Oh, but it's a sword, but I want to say support.
You can have sword supports.
That sounds stupid, though.
There's been lots of sword supports.
But why would you have a sword and be a support?
Like, you can do supportive things with a sword.
Yeah.
Like, their abilities themselves might not necessarily be attacking, if that makes sense.
You can go, like, quite fast. Bit of damage, but also a bit of support.
Okay. So he's Hydro. He wrote with water. He's a sword user, as you may have seen. He's not a librarian, however, he's a bookworm. He's always looking for new books, reading books.
Trimming them up.
He's not trimming them, I don't think. And he's sort of like the support damage. So he will like do a big boost of water damage, but then he'll also protect you with like this sort of spinning sort of water swords around him, which when you get hit, they'll take a bit of the blow from you. But yeah, he's mainly like he does a lot of damage over time, but from the background, sort of. Like, he does his move, its effect lingers, and then he disappears and lets someone else come out. Okay. Moving on, next we have Xinyan.
Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Spear.
Mm-hmm.
And very dark personality.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. Maybe she's just timid. I don't know. Maybe it's like she puts on a face where she's actually really timid, but to everyone else, then she seems like she's really mean.
She does have like quite a mean look, I guess.
I don't know. It just feels like she's very like standoffish.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with damage dealer.
Yeah.
Like, not very tanky, so if she gets hit once, then that's it. But she does a lot of damage.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the same thing where it's like she's really soft on the inside, but her exterior is like really hard.
So Xinyan is Pyro, you're right with that. She's a Claymore user. And she's a punk rocker sort of style person, which is why she sort of like has her hair up with spikes and things. I think she's quite friendly, really. She's not very put off anything. She's scared of frogs, which is what you saw earlier. She's more of like it's weird, she kind of can deal damage herself, but she's more like a tanky, supportive person. Like, she lets other people do more damage.
Yeah.
And she also provides a shield for them. But she can do damage herself pretty well if she wants to. Next, moving on to the last character from Liyue, Zhongli.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
So he's very high up.
Where are those who share the memory?
Like either
Height-wise or position-wise?
both.
Yeah. I think he's tied with Diluc for height.
Yeah.
Highest
So
podcast.
somehow related to the other really high up woman.
Ningguang.
Whether that be like a husband or brother or something like that. But they definitely like know each other and are quite close. Or they just hate each other. But they definitely know each other and like have to be near each other sort of thing. I'm go spear user, because it's the final one.
Yeah.
Good ground. He seems really
Yeah.
grounded.
Geo.
Yeah.
I love his voice. The voice actor does a
It's
good
a
job.
very good voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About style of combat.
Damage dealer, like very much front of the pack. Slightly tanky, which takes away from his damage. And he's a bit slower, but he's very much front of the pack, like leading into the battle.
So Zhongli is Geo. He does use a spear. You
Yes!
finally got one.
The last one!
Yeah, and he is probably the most. Well, he is the most tanky character in the game.
Right.
Like his whole thing is like he has a really strong shield. He brings down a massive meteor to like smash people, and it will like coat them in stone so they can't attack you back, sort of thing. He, similar to Venti, the Animo Archon, the air guy from last time who you thought was a girl. He is the Geo Archon, so he is like in charge of Geo in that area, and that Liyue is the sort of the Geo area. It's more, but whereas Mondstadt was freedom, they're more like contracts and business. It's like the business center of the world. And while him and Ningguang know each other, they're not on bad terms, but he handed over power to Ningguang, mostly through choice.
Mostly.
He put them through a test. Like in the story, he puts them through a test where he wants them to prove that they can last without him. And when they do, he gives up his powers. Tune in next time for the final instalment of Guessing Genshin, where Alex will have a look at the main character and Paimon, as well as talking about her thoughts on the game and her favourite characters. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you'd like to see more, consider subscribing.